Behind the harmless laughs and bumbling platoon lies a treasure trove of secrets you were never meant to hear. These are the untold truths that made Dad's Army Britain's funniest wartime comedy. And so much more. Fact 1.
I want to hear you scream. Come on. Scream. Come on.
When Dad's Army first aired in 1968, the BBC thought it would flop. Creators Jimmy Perry and David Croft faced pushback from nervous executives. They worried people wouldn't laugh at jokes about World War II. Perry, who'd served in the Home Guard himself, knew he could make it work. He based Private Pike on his younger self, clueless and mothered. Arthur Lowe hated anyone implying the show mocked veterans. Originally, the BBC wanted to call it The Fighting Tigers. Perry fought for Dad's Army, which felt warm and British. Actors used real rifles with no proper training. That led to accidental misfires and big audience laughs. Early critics called the show tasteless and insulting. Real Home Guard veterans loved it and sent letters of praise. Audience numbers skyrocketed after only 4 episodes. BBC censors feared jokes about Churchill would cause outrage. Perry and Croft got clever with hidden double meanings. Arthur Lowe stayed in character and barked orders off camera. Props like helmets borrowed from museums sometimes disappeared. The cast felt like a real platoon behind the scenes. Nobody believed in it, except the men who made it. Against all odds, Dad's Army became a national treasure. Just like its platoon, it proved doubters wrong. And it's still proving them wrong today. Fact 2.
Yeah, this isn't ours. This is a lot of Zulus dancing up and down.
That belongs to the vicar.
Clive Dunn's Lance Corporal Jones looked ancient but was only in his 40s. He'd perfected playing old men on stage for years. Heavy makeup and a wig completed the transformation. His catchphrase, "Don't panic," happened by accident. He blurted it out during a rehearsal and it stuck. Audiences adored Jones's frantic energy and silly lines. Dunn was a real World War II veteran and former prisoner of war. That gave him a bond with Home Guard fans. He often improvised lines that stayed in final cuts. Once he hurt his ankle chasing a runaway van. Production stopped, but he bounced back quickly. Off camera, Dunn led the cast's many pranks. He once hid John Laurie's boots before a scene. In 1970, his novelty song Grandad topped UK charts. Fans mailed letters just addressed to Grandad BBC. Producers feared some jokes might offend real veterans. Instead, veterans loved his nod to their spirit. He was awarded an OBE for his comedy. He retired to Portugal, but fans recognised him for decades. Even in old age, he moved like Jones, just faster. Lance Corporal Jones reminds us to never panic. And his legacy keeps the platoon's laughter alive. Fact 3.
We can't have anybody waiting on us in this platoon, Wilson. No, right. This is a democratic unit. We eat together, sleep together, and fight together.
Arthur Lowe didn't just play Mainwaring, he became him 24/7. He refused to let anyone touch his uniform or glasses. His glasses were real, not props. They were his prescription. Lowe believed they helped him see like Mainwaring. He stayed in character between takes, barking at castmates. If anyone mocked Mainwaring's pompous ways, Lowe scolded them. Offset, Arthur loved fine wine in his dressing room. He'd host drinks with the cast, but only if they stayed in character. John Le Mesurier would play along, reporting for duty at dinner. Arthur's wife, Joan, voiced the unseen Mrs. Mainwaring. Fans loved the running joke that she was always off camera. Lowe clashed with directors who dared to change his lines. He insisted every word be spoken exactly as written. His perfectionism slowed filming but created iconic moments. When Lowe died in 1982, he was still performing on stage. Castmates called him the glue that held the platoon together. Fans still visit his grave and leave flowers to say thanks. His "you stupid boy" catchphrase lives on in memes today. Arthur Lowe showed what total commitment to a role looks like. He turned pompous into timeless comedy. Mainwaring's spirit lives on whenever the platoon returns. And Arthur never broke character. Not once. Fact 4.
The type of bomb we're going to use will be represented by this can. Have you got it? Have you got the bomb?
show it to them.
John Le Mesurier's Sergeant Wilson was smooth as silk. Fans loved how his gentle charm balanced Mainwaring's bark. Wilson's dreamy delivery was partly John's real personality. He improvised lines that made Wilson so endearing. Off-screen, John was the peacemaker when tensions rose. Castmates called him unfailingly polite and calm under pressure. His elegant style was no act. His suits were his own. He and Clive Dunn had a warm friendship behind the scenes. The show hinted Wilson might secretly be Pike's father. That little wink added an adult layer to the sitcom. In real life, John's wife left him for Tony Hancock. He handled it with grace, saying he needs her more. John never lost his cool on long shooting days. He trusted writers and never complained about retakes. His gentle spirit kept the cast feeling like family. When he died in 1983, Britain mourned its gentleman comedian. His epitaph reads, "He was much loved." So true. Wilson's calm lines are still quoted in living rooms today. He gave the platoon its soul and balance. No one could keep Mainwaring in check like Wilson did. And no sitcom gentleman was ever cooler. Fact 5.
You're muddling. I can't leave him his senses.
Many thought the real Home Guard would hate being laughed at. Instead, they became the show's biggest fans. Veterans wrote letters praising the authentic, silly moments. They shared stories that inspired new episodes. One veteran even mailed his old uniform for props. Jimmy Perry read every letter for fresh ideas. Real Home Guard vets visited the set sometimes. The cast posed for photos with them like heroes. In 1977, the show's 10th anniversary invited dozens to watch. Arthur Lowe gave a speech thanking them for their service. The veterans gave him a standing ovation that night. Props they donated now live in the Dad's Army Museum. Visitors see original helmets, old ration books, and scripts. School groups learn real World War II stories through the sitcom. Veterans loved the affectionate ribbing and goofy drills. They saw themselves in every botched parade. The platoon's chaos felt real because it was real once. Without the Home Guard's blessing, the show might not have lasted. Their stories keep the platoon's spirit alive. They showed Britain how to laugh at itself, and that laughter still echoes on screen today. Fact 6. The theme, "Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler?" is iconic now. Jimmy Perry wrote it, inspired by wartime music halls. BBC bosses hated it at first. They wanted a serious march. Perry insisted and brought in Bud Flanagan to sing. Flanagan was in his 70s and a real World War II performer. His voice added a nostalgic, authentic feel. When it aired, the song was an instant hit. It captured Britain's cheeky wartime humour perfectly. The song even charted in the UK Top 40. Fans sang it at parties and football games. Bud Flanagan passed away soon after recording it. His voice lives on every time an episode plays. Jimmy Perry always said the theme did half the work. It set the tone for gentle, loving mockery. Without it, the show might have felt flat. Today, that opening tune is TV legend. It's proof that sticking to your vision pays off, and no British comedy intro is more recognisable. Thanks to one perfect song, the platoon marches on. Fact 7.
Mr. Mainwaring, aren't there any nice-looking Germans?
No.
Many of Dad's Army's classic catchphrases weren't in the scripts at all. "Don't panic," was Clive Dunn's accidental shout during a fluffed scene. The audience laughed so hard they made it Jones's trademark. Arthur Lowe's "You stupid boy" came from him scolding Pike off camera. Writers loved how natural it sounded and kept it in. John Laurie improvised phrases "We're doomed" on the spot. Fans waited for these lines like a punchline every week. Directors noticed audiences cheering when they heard them. The actors learned to tease out the moment for maximum laughs. Improvisation wasn't the BBC's style back then. Dad's Army broke that rule. The writers started leaving space for ad-libs in scripts. It made episodes feel fresh and unpredictable. Retakes were chaotic, but the cast thrived on that energy. Kids who weren't born yet still know "You stupid boy" today. Some parents teach the catchphrases to their kids as family jokes. Conventions and museum visitors love shouting them together. What began as slip-ups became cultural gold. Producers said the unscripted bits made the show timeless. They turned great lines into memes before memes existed. It's living proof that the best moments are often happy accidents. These lines keep the platoon alive every time someone repeats them. And that's the magic of Dad's Army at its funniest. Fact 8.
Sit down, Jim. Sit
Oh,
down.
thanks very much.
Off-screen, the platoon were even bigger fools than on TV. Clive Dunn led the mischief, always dreaming up tricks. He once replaced John Laurie's boots with custard-filled ones. Arthur Lowe, serious as Mainwaring, secretly loved joining in. Once he swapped everyone's tea with brandy for a scene. John Le Mesurier played along with deadpan innocence. On location, they rehearsed fake scenes to confuse the crew. They even once marched into a real army base by accident. Guards didn't know whether to salute or arrest them. Props mysteriously vanished or were glued to tables. Costumes went missing right before takes, causing panic. Sometimes these mishaps ended up in final edits. Guest stars were the biggest prank targets. One new actor arrived to find his lines replaced with gibberish. Clive Dunn told him he'd have to sing live on set. It was pure nonsense, but everyone roared with laughter. No prank was ever cruel, just chaotic fun. The practical jokes bonded the cast like a real platoon. Producers said it kept them going through long, cold shoots. Fans still share prank stories in fan clubs today. The mischief made the on-screen chemistry feel real. And that playful spirit is baked into every episode. Fact 9. The Dad's Army Museum in Thetford is a time capsule for fans. It's run by passionate locals who refuse to let history fade. Visitors see original props, uniforms, and annotated scripts. Captain Mainwaring's desk still stands proudly on display. The platoon's battered van is parked outside for photos. Many items were rescued from dusty BBC storerooms. Families donated helmets, boots, and old Home Guard gear. Fan letters from the show's heyday line the walls. There's even Bud Flanagan memorabilia from the theme song. Some families visit every year to relive old memories. School groups come to learn about World War II in a fun way. Fans sometimes dress up and recreate famous scenes. The local town embraces its Dad's Army fame with pride. Every year, thousands make the pilgrimage to Thetford. No visit is exactly the same. The collection keeps growing. New artifacts still appear from fans' attics and sheds. The museum feels alive, not frozen in time. It's more than nostalgia, it's living British history. Standing in Mainwaring's office feels like stepping into the sitcom. The laughter echoes through every hallway and display case. For fans, the museum proves the platoon never really disbanded. It's a must-see for anyone who loves Britain's funniest troops. Fact 10. Dad's Army officially ended in 1977, but it never truly left us. Since then, reruns have kept the platoon bumbling along on TV. Each generation discovers Mainwaring and his men anew. Families gather to watch it together, parents teaching kids the jokes. Stage plays and radio specials bring fresh life to old scripts. The 2016 film remake showed the platoon's staying power. Fan meetups keep the catchphrases alive in pubs and clubs. The Dad's Army Museum celebrates its legacy year after year. Arthur Lowe's grave still gets flowers from devoted fans. Streaming services have carried it around the world. People in Australia, Canada, and beyond love Britain's daftest platoon. Kids quote, "Don't panic," like it's a family motto. Its gentle humour and silly drills feel timeless, never dated. Writers still study its style as the gold standard of sitcoms. It proves Britain can laugh at its own pompous leaders and chaos. Every "you stupid boy" is a wink across the decades. Merchandise keeps selling out. Mugs, shirts, DVDs. In Thetford, fans dress up to keep the platoon alive. Dad's Army is more than a show. It's part of who we are. It teaches us to find warmth and laughter in the hardest times. The platoon may be fictional, but their spirit, will never surrender. And that's the greatest secret of all. Bonus fact. Most fans don't realise how important Thetford, Norfolk was to Dad's army. This small market town stood in for the fictional Warmington-on-Sea. Thetford's streets, fields and pub fronts became iconic backdrops. Locals often watched filming from behind fences and hedges. Some even appeared as extras in chaotic parade scenes. The Bell Hotel was a favourite hangout for the cast after long shoots. Arthur Lowe, Jon Wilson and Clive Dunn would share a pint there. Local businesses still brag about their Dad's army connections today. Shopkeepers kept props for decades, only recently donating them to the museum. Tourists now wander those same streets looking for famous spots. The old Guildhall was transformed into Mainwaring's Church Hall headquarters. Farmhouses and fields nearby became the platoon's training grounds. On busy filming days, Thetford felt like a wartime village all over again. Generations later, the town still honours its sitcom legacy. Signs proudly mark Dad's Army locations for visitors to follow. Local pubs host fan nights with quizzes and themed food. Some residents even remember meeting the platoon as kids. Thetford's connection helped the show feel so real and down to earth. No fancy studio could recreate that British village vibe. Fans say walking Thetford streets feels like time travel. The town gave Dad's Army its true sense of home. And thanks to Thetford, Britain's funniest platoon still marches on.